much for tuning in to our first Bubble Buddy Self-Love series. My name is Cindy, and ini partner aku Chandra. We are Bubbly's friends. So, for today's series yang berjudul Achievement and Self-Love, kita kedatangan tamu istimewa yaitu Kak Evita Marta. Yeay!
Hai.
Hai.
Halo Kak Marta.
Hai semua.
Ya, udah datang ke interview kita. Gimana kabarnya Kak Marta? Lagi social distancing?
Iya, jadi FYI teman-teman, jadi Cindy ini teman aku waktu intern di BCG. So, we actually meet waktu kita intern. So, currently aku lagi di Bali sih, Sin. Because, I'm just stuck here due to the travel restriction. And I think I'm doing fine. Work from home has been pretty well for me. At first, it was super stressful, tapi lama-kelamaan I cultivate these new habits, actually cultivating habits to make myself to love myself more. So actually I'm doing good. I like work from home.
Good to hear, good to hear. So today topik kita kan hari ini achievement and self-love. Kita lihat nih banyak dari kita pasti memiliki cita-cita yang ingin kita capai. Nah, since Kak Marta kayaknya punya banyak nih prestasi, boleh nggak kita mulai kenalan dulu kira-kira Kak Marta ini siapa, achievementnya apa, dan mungkin ceritakan juga ya sekarang ngapain aja kesibukannya.
Okay. So hi everyone, nama aku Evita Marta Dewi, biasa dipanggil Marta. So sekarang aku sedang kerja sebagai konsultan di Boston Consulting Group. Sebelum kerja di BCG, aku juga jadi research analyst, jadi analis riset di kantor Bank Dunia di Jakarta. So that was actually my very first full-time career. And before that, I interned at BCG, both as a project intern in my second year and also as a summer business analyst di tahun ketiga aku. So that's actually a bit of my career life. Tapi kalau anak-anak kuliah nih, pasti kenalnya aku sebagai Mapresnas gitu. Jadi Mapresnas itu singkatan dari Mahasiswa Berprestasi Nasional. It's Indonesia's most outstanding student. I was privileged and honored to get that award in the year of 2018. Jadi itu seleksinya agak berat ya, jadi dari fakultas, kemudian universitas, dan akhirnya di level nasional. And I'm actually really passionate about public speaking too. So starting from college, emang I already started to join MUN, conferences, economics competition, atau business cases competition. And currently, selain sebagai konsultan di BCG, I'm also an aspiring public speaker. So maybe banyak orang yang udah lihat aku sering live session, aku juga sering record webinar and join interview like this because I really want to spread impacts.
Wah, luar biasa sekali ya teman-teman pencapaian Kak Marta ini bisa jadi Mapresnas, terus mulai karirnya sebagai analis di World Bank. Wah, sungguh tentu luar biasa dan tidak mudah ya Kak Marta untuk sampai ke stage sekarang ini. Mungkin kira-kira boleh nggak ya Kak Marta di-share nih perjalanan Kak Marta nih gimana sih sampai ke stage ini, sampai bisa meraih banyak sekali nih prestasi-prestasi, dan boleh nggak ya diceritain kaitannya tuh gimana ya hal ini sama self-love atau self-acceptance?
Okay, I think that's actually a really interesting question. Karena when people see me, mereka tuh nganggep, jalannya Kak Marta tuh lurus-lurus aja kali ya. Kayaknya she always get what she wants. Everything that she have in her life tuh kayaknya gampang banget to get. Tapi sebenarnya it's not that easy. Kayak contohnya, I'm gonna start when I was in primary school bahkan. So starting from primary school, aku tuh anaknya emang ambisius banget. Maksudnya ambisius di dalam bidang kayak akademik gitu. Tapi not everyone like someone ambitious, right? Apalagi waktu kita SD, kayak people hates kayak ada anak yang nggak suka nyontek, atau ada anak yang punya prinsip kalau seandainya ada temen ribut dilaporin ke guru gitu. I have that principle. Jadi aku tuh emangnya bener-bener nggak suka nyontek waktu aku SD. And people hates me because of that. And then waktu itu juga aku masih kurang pede sama diri aku kalau to be honest. Karena even though I'm smart, I used to be really, really fat. I used to be really chubby, really fat, and I'm the typical of girl yang kalau seandainya waktu SD, cowok-cowok would like bully me gitu. Tapi ya, I come to conclusion kayak ya udah, I need to do self-love. Akhirnya I actually do healthy eating, mindful eating, terus I work out, and that's where I am today. Now let's just move back, kayak move actually further waktu aku kuliah. When I started as a college student in UI, aku tuh emang, I'm actually pretty insecure about myself. Kayak aku tuh selalu ngerasa, I need to be something in UI, tapi kayak di UI kan orang-orangnya pada ambisius juga gitu. Everyone is so smart. And on that time, I make a goal. Pertama ada satu goal, aku tuh pingin banget masuk ke suatu organisasi. Cuman, aku nggak masuk tuh. Intinya, I don't get that place in that organization. And then I end up hating myself. Karena aku ngerasa, what's wrong with me? Cause like, maybe ada sesuatu yang salah sama aku, karena teman-teman aku dapet semua, kecuali aku, gitu. Tapi then, I realize that maybe it's not my place, gitu. Maybe I'm just not a right candidate, and I can actually make another impact somewhere. And that's why I actually joined HNMAN, and I become the head delegate of HNMAN. And that's actually where things actually become so much better for me. Jadi aku bener-bener habis HNMAN, aku intern di BCG, terus ikut business cases. And then, yeah, life happens just like that. Jadi menurut aku, penting banget sih when you actually have failure, it's not because of you. Jadi sometimes it's just external factor, and sometimes it's actually God's way to actually kayak bilang kalau this is not your path, this is your, basically just believe in his guidance, I think.
I see. Ternyata bener ya, kayak self-love and self-acceptance tuh penting banget sih untuk bisa achieve semua yang Kak Marta udah achieve sekarang. Nah, kira-kira gimana nih? Ada gak sih hal yang Kak Marta previously tuh nggak demen gitu about yourself, but akhirnya you decided to embrace it, to use it, and actually benar-benar pakai itu buat excel in your life. And how did you manage to do that ya?
So maybe I'm gonna told you kayak I'm actually an economics students di UI. Jadi kalau anak-anak ilmu ekonomi UI pasti tahu how hard economics is and how quantitative economics is. So a little background, aku tuh waktu SMA IPS gitu loh. Jadi my math skill itu sebenarnya nggak sebagus mungkin anak-anak IPA gitu. Meanwhile kalau di UI, I'm actually dealing with geniuses yang kayak bener-bener pinter banget. So basically on that time aku ngerasa kayak, oh, compared to them, I'm actually less smart gitu. Jadi ya what I did, karena aku udah bener-bener acknowledge my weakness mungkin di quantitative analysis, what I did adalah I need to embrace it. Ya udahlah, emang everyone tuh has weaknesses gitu. Jadi what I did adalah aku temenan sama teman-teman aku yang pinter-pinter ini, and I always ask, yuk kita belajar yuk bareng, and then they teach me. Kalau misalnya aku juga jadinya kayak ada motivasi nih, oh teman aku aja udah bisa, masa aku enggak sih gitu. So what I did adalah aku belajar jauh lebih berat daripada mereka. If they only read from presentation, for instance, I read it from the book directly gitu. And then another thing that I actually don't like about myself at first, tentu I think everyone, every girl terutama actually struggle. Kayak they keep on comparing, oh this girl is more skinny compared to me, oh this girl is prettier. Ya, sometimes kayak ada lah pasti insecurity, kayak oh this person looks much better than me. Cuman the way I handle it adalah ya for me every girl itu cantik gitu. Everyone is pretty, and I think if you're actually kind and you're actually smart, that beautiful, kayak that beautiful race itu bakalan muncul sendiri gitu. So I really hope that everyone that is watching, both it's girls, both it's boys, you guys are beautiful, you guys are worth it, and yeah, just love yourself more.
Wah, luar biasa sekali ya kata-kata dari Kak Marta. Tadi Kak Marta juga udah share nih, kira-kira apa sih yang dia nggak suka dari dirinya, tapi daripada menyerah, dia lebih memilih untuk embrace it, dia belajar lebih giat, dia kumpulin teman-temannya nih yang bisa, dan dia strategize on it, gimana supaya tetap bisa excel. Nah, tadi Kak Marta juga udah share nih, banyak ya ternyata orang yang compare-compare, bahkan dari diri Kak Marta sendiri tuh suka compare nih, kayak gimana sih, kok aku dibanding orang lain tuh kalah ya, atau misalnya aku lebih jelek ya, atau anything like that. Nah, Kak, kita mau tahu lebih dalam nih, gimana sih caranya ketika kita dalam situasi bahwa kita merasa rendah diri, kita compare ourselves to anyone out there, or bahkan ketika orang lain nih, pernah nggak Kak, kayak ada orang lain tuh compare-compare, kok kamu gini sih, kok kamu nggak kayak dia sih, kamu lebih bagus. Nah, kalau lagi kayak gitu, gimana ya Kak, kita harus menyikapi situation yang kayak gitu?
Yeah, I think that's actually a really interesting question. Dan actually aku tuh udah lumayan stop comparing myself to other because of this mindset. Karena aku percaya when we actually compare ourselves to someone more superior dari kita, lebih hebat, lebih keren, lebih cantik, lebih apapun dari kita, actually there are other people di bawah kita yang actually aspiring to be someone like us gitu loh. Jadi menurut aku pertama mindsetnya harus diubah sih. You should actually start to be grateful with yourself. Dan itu of course gratefulness the feeling of contentment itu datang kalau kamu udah ada rasa self-love. Jadi penting banget untuk nggak cuma selalu lihat ke atas, tapi juga selalu lihat ke bawah gitu. Dan mungkin yang agak nyebelin kalau seandainya kita udah nggak compare, tapi orang lain yang ikut-ikutan compare. Well, for me, I think just, in the world there's always noises, there's always dogs that bark, jadi ya nggak usah terlalu didengerin sih. If it's actually motivating, kayak misalnya, oh kamu tuh harus S2 nih, so that you can be like this person, and you actually aspire to be that person, ya ikutin aja sarannya kalau itu positif. Tapi kalau menurut aku sarannya kayak toxic, yang kayak benar-benar komen kayak haters, itu tuh menurut aku ya udah just let it go, cause you don't really need to respond to everyone gitu.
I see. That's actually a really good insight sih, because in this world it's impossible ya for people to actually stop comparing gitu. Nah, untuk pertanyaan selanjutnya nih, mungkin tadi Kak Marta juga udah sempet touch about failures, yang you said kayak kalau misalnya gagal dalam suatu hal, ya jangan menyerah, mungkin itu Tuhan ada tujuan lain gitu. Cuman mungkin kita mau dig deeper lagi. Pernah nggak sih kakak gagal dalam suatu hal, terus kayak, how did you actually keep motivating yourself without hating yourself? Kadang kan kalau misalnya kita fail gitu, kita bisa kayak hate ourselves so much, and kita kayak beat ourselves so much gitu. How do we stay loving ourselves and just make it as a motivation gitu, Kak?
Okay, so I think that's actually a really nice question sih, Cindy. So maybe not people know, tapi I'm just gonna denormalize failure. So actually I got rejected twice di World Bank before I actually entered World Bank. And I think I'm actually open to it, karena orang-orang kayak nganggep, oh lu dapet WB gampang banget, lu dapet BCG gampang banget. Tapi turns out it's actually hard for me too gitu. I got rejected twice. Dan kalau I fail, ya harusnya, dan aku demotivated, aku nggak akan coba tuh yang kedua, atau aku nggak akan coba yang ketiga. So, from my story, that's actually, the insight adalah, kalau you actually udah putus asa duluan, you'll never know that you can actually get in your second chance, atau your third chance. So, you should not be demotivated. And, another thing, itu tuh penting banget kalau kita tuh harus lihat kayak sebenarnya tuh kita fail karena apa sih? Is it because of us? Or is it because of the external factor? Nah, kalau waktu aku WB kemarin tuh jujur sebenarnya lebih ke external factor. So, yang pertama itu gara-gara dia cari master student, cuman aku tetap aja apply. Because I like to be like that. I like to apply stuff. Terus yang kedua, itu aku gagal gara-gara emang nggak ada opening aja gitu loh. Emang lagi nggak oprek. And they said that they would get back to me when there's ada oprek. Cuma they didn't get back to me. So I also consider that as a failure. But yeah, there's also something internal yang kayak mungkin sebenarnya ada sesuatu yang bisa diimprove. Misalnya your CV can be improved, your cover letter can be improved. Nah, jadi kalau seandainya emang itu bisa diimprove, maka kamu harus start with self-love lagi. Karena kamu nggak akan bisa bikin CV yang bagus, yang mendeskripsikan the best version of you, if you don't know about yourself and you don't love yourself. So I think that's really an important mindset gitu. Karena jangan sampai kamu gagal and then you become demotivated and you hate yourself. Karena when that happens, ya udah, the world will stop gitu. You should try to love yourself first and then loving others, dan the universe tuh nanti bantuin kamu untuk dapetin apa yang kamu mau, as long as it's a good intention.
I see. Hebat banget ya Kak Marta ini, walaupun tadi diceritain nih kira-kira udah gagal 2 kali nih untuk masuk World Bank, tapi nggak nyerah. Malah bisa tetap menerima dirinya sendiri untuk berusaha terus lebih baik, sehingga akhirnya bisa ke state yang sekarang ya. Nah, tapi Kak, kita kan sering denger nih di luar sana nih banyak kayak, oh ini udah saatnya lu menyerah nih, ini udah that's it lah gitu. Kalau menurut Kak Marta, statement kayak gitu ada nggak ya? Dan bener nggak sih statement kayak kata-kata orang itu bahwa, oh ini udah saatnya kamu menyerah nih?
So I think itu benar-benar depends on 2 question. Kalau seandainya kita mau give up, this is the 2 principles that I usually do, the why and the how. Jadi sebenarnya what is the motivation? Apa sih alasan kamu ngelakuin sesuatu? Jadi kalau motivasinya emang benar-benar wah gila, motivasinya emang berat banget nih, kayak bener-bener aku pingin masuk WB because I wanna make impact gitu, or I wanna go to BCG because I wanna learn business from the very best so that later on I can become a CEO in my own startup regarding social entrepreneur. That's actually my motivation to enter BCG back gitu, for instance. Jadi if it's actually a really good motivation and it's really something yang benar-benar impactful for you and also other, I think you should not give up. Tapi it's also depending on the second principle, which is the how. So what are the mechanism sih? Apa sih mekanismenya untuk bisa dapetin impian kamu? Is it like kayak a one time only chance, or ini bisa di-repeat berkali-kali? Karena for me, kalau seandainya misalnya you really want to enter consulting gitu, ya everyone who wants to enter consulting tahu gitu, susah kan masuk consulting, ada case interview, and then banyak banget lah, pokoknya ada case interview, and then ada another interview, pokoknya interviewnya multiple gitu loh. So if you really want to enter consulting, then you would ask yourself gitu, berapa waktu yang kamu mau dedicate untuk belajar tentang consulting. And another thing juga ya, kalau misalnya kamu ditolak, okay, so let's say you got rejected and then ada blackout period for 2 years. If you really want it, ya coba lagi gitu loh. There's always like next time gitu. Kayak aku di WB, I got rejected twice and I got in my third chance. It's not even a second chance, it's a third chance. So yeah, never give up. Kalau for me, it really depends. Tapi ada juga yang misalnya ya, kalau ini mungkin beda kasus, kayak you try to give up on someone yang, let's say your best friend atau your significant other, yang emang udah super toxic and abuse you, then that's where actually self-love comes first gitu. Kayak if you really don't think like these people deserve you, ya udah, you should give up, you should go gitu. But if it's your dream, it's about you, ya harus dijalanin dong, kayak gitu.
Wow, that's actually very, very inspiring. So I think it's important for us to always know ourselves and what we want and what we want to achieve gitu. And I think Kak Marta will definitely spread more positive impact to more people out there. And mungkin ini terakhir nih Kak Marta, buat teman-teman kita di luar sana, do you have any tips for people out there to practice self-love? And why do you think it is really, really important nih buat practice self-love to succeed and to achieve their goals?
So maybe I'm gonna just like kayak balik ya pertanyaannya. Jadi I'm gonna start with the why and then I'm gonna start with the how. So why I think practicing self-love is important is because if you don't love yourself, then you will never know the best version of yourself. You'll never know what kind of things that you can actually do, and that's actually a really sad things gitu, where you can actually become a better version of yourself just by loving yourself more. Jadi for instance for me, because I love myself, jadi I treat myself better, and then it opens me to opportunity. Yang benar-benar kalau seandainya aku depressed, aku demotivated, I will not be open misalnya to that opportunity. Maybe I will, if for instance I stop trying for World Bank in my first and second chance, I will never be a research analyst at the World Bank gitu, for instance. So how do you practice self-love? For me, it's actually quite small. The first step is actually by tweaking your mindset that you really should be grateful about you. Even though maybe kalian ada banyak kurang ya, you still have weaknesses, you should remember that actually someone is aspiring to be you, and you need to know that, for me, it's actually pretty simple, that you're God's creation. And when you're God's creation, it means that you have a purpose in life that you need to fulfill. So whether you still have weaknesses, whether you still have strength, weaknesses you can actually improve it, but strength you can actually improve it too untuk bisa spreading more impact. So yeah, that's actually first is changing your mindset, and second, by changing your mindset, you can change into a healthier and happier life. For me, it's really important to start working out if you like working out. Start, meditating, which actually helps a lot for me. And then you can also do, kalau cewek-cewek, bahkan cowok-cowok ya, kalau mau skincare, or just treat yourself for a good shopping time. That's actually always rewarding gitu. Jadi ya, first mindset, and then second, just changing your lifestyle.
I see. Jadi itu ya teman-teman tips dari Kak Marta. Pertama, mindset-nya harus dibenerin, kita harus grateful, kita kalaupun kita punya weakness itu masih bisa diperbaiki, dan kita bisa focus on our strength to be the best version of us. And then the second tadi apa Kak Marta? Sorry, yang kedua tadi kan pertama kan changing your lifestyle, mungkin lebih manjain dirinya ya. Oke, kira-kira segitu dulu teman-teman. Thank you nih waktunya buat Kak Marta juga. Nah, kalau mungkin teman-teman nih masih ada pertanyaan, bisa langsung hit IG kita di @mybubblebuddy, atau mungkin lewat Kak Marta langsung ya.
Ya, bisa di
Oke.
Thank you so much, Kak Marta.
Oke, dan thank you, Kak.
Okay, bye everyone.
Oke, bye.